Let's talk about longtime friend of the channel, Rebekah Valentine. I said on X, IGN's Rebekah Valentine crashes out on Blue Sky over my attendance at the Game Awards. Looks like she's still mad at me, calling her out for her blatant AF hit piece. She and Khee Hoon Chan ran on Game Science Black Myth Wukong game, portraying the studio as sexist, using extremely mistranslated information to slander a game that didn't bow to the cult's message. She's apparently still big mad that she got exposed and has no idea how to take an L. I know, guys. I know a woman that doesn't know how to take an L. It's wild, but it happens. No retraction on her story was ever ran. Only doubled down on aggression. She's an embarrassment to the game industry. Victimhood isn't going to do anything for you here, hun. Be accountable for once in your life, and you'll be amazed at how fast you start feeling better about yourself. I promise. Until then, move along. Your words mean absolutely nothing to me. This is a situation where you could probably point to of why people in the game industry, I don't know, don't like me. Because I keep it real. These people want to push an agenda, and you get them caught in a lie. You call them out for it. And instead of being like, you got me, yep, and it's been proven by these actual professionals that are translators that proved us wrong and explained everything to us. No. It's, who are you to challenge my authority? You're just some dude behind a computer. You aren't someone in the professional journalism or games industry. You aren't allowed to say anything. We write the narratives, not you. And at least that used to be how it works. Not so much anymore. Rebekah Valentine on Blue Sky, after Airbagged shared to everyone that I was at the Game Awards, she says, this guy participated in making my life hell for months on end. And I had it easy compared to a lot of others this year. Glad to see he's able to just stroll on into these rooms with people he's tried to destroy. Cool. So very multi-layered, multifaceted comment here by her. I'm going to try my best to break it apart and see exactly what she's doing. First off, hardcore gatekeeping at the end of it, where she's like, oh, he could just stroll in here? He's not supposed to be allowed in here. This is for us, the industry people. He's not one of us. He should not be allowed in here. And on top of that, calling me the guy that made her life hell for months on end. By what? Why do you leave out? They always do this. Why do you leave out the details of what made your life hell? The truth? Oh, the truth made your life hell? Well, weird how that works. The hell are you talking about? And I had it easy compared to a lot of others. Oh, did you not lie as bad as the other people I called out? The victimhood, the classic victimhood. She continued, by the way, Alyssa Mercante reposting Rebekah Valentine. Again, one big club. You're not in it. Alyssa Mercante retweeting Rebekah Valentine, a writer, editor for IGN, who says, wow, quote tweeting Kate Bush's husband, the dude that tried to get my wife fired from the hospital she works at as a cancer nurse, the dude that threatened to meet me at a convention, the dude that's done many, many things, doxed me, or at least, shared my docs from Alyssa Mercante's lawsuit. And that's just on me. This guy has been a serial stalker and harasser, troll, whatever you want to call him, Antifa member against many people in the gaming community. Yet Rebekah Valentine follows him and says, wow, to it, that I'm there. So again, I guess he's okay with her in the cult because he's one of her. So they're okay with him. Gotcha. I felt like this was a really good opportunity because apparently Rebekah Valentine hasn't let it go and she thinks I'm the bad guy. So I got to do what anyone in this position would do, and that is set the record straight again. She wants to cry to everyone that I'm the bad person, that I'm the harasser, that I made her life hell. Well, I need to at least give my perspective on why that's not true. Let's start with Kyle here, who quote tweeted me. He says, "Ain't this the bitch who desperately tried to bury the monkey game with a racist translator? Wasn't running from the platform and voting Astrobot enough? Now they expect to be able to dictate who is allowed to attend? Seething gonna have a Hogwarts Legacy effect on Smash." Which, again, the Streisand on me. These journals don't understand. The more they come at me, the more I win because I'm right. They think that they can push a narrative and be like, no, we're the authority. The authority means nothing on the internet. The truth is what matters. That's why you keep losing. It's really that simple, by the way. I really would like to encourage folks to read this is from Rebekah Valentine, my and Khee Hoon's article from October, which is linked elsewhere in the thread. Not just skim or read summaries, but really read it. I think a lot of what's happened since we published it has gone on to prove the point of the article. It's not that the game itself is sexist. It seems fine from what I've heard, though. I haven't played it yet, so I can't fully say. It's not even that the whole studio is toxic. I have no idea. It's a deep dive into the toxic community that has sprung up around the game. Wow, this sounds like a lot like Alyssa Mercante. A toxic community that's sprung up around a game. It's like the communist mantra. They all go back to the same fucking well on everything. Oh, I've noticed there's a toxic community that's sprung up here. We're going to talk about these gamers and their toxicity due to the ways its founders engaged online and how that community has spiraled out of control ever since. For all the weirdos online, this is, again, same shit Alyssa does. The weirdos online trying to lessen the impact of what they're saying by calling them names. The weirdos online claiming our article was Google translated, completely untrue. Well, that's even worse then, by the way. At least you could be like, yes, it was Google translated and we got it wrong. If you're saying that Khee Hoon Chan is the expert and you still got it wrong, that's even more wild. Or debunked. What part of it was untrue? LOL. There are videos from actual Chinese speaking people that explain specifically what is wrong about it and why it was mistranslated completely. And actually it was like obviously mistranslated, which I've got. I'm not going to go through that again. I made many videos. I reacted to those videos explaining in full detail. They don't want the truth out there. So they just say, oh, what do you mean? That hasn't happened. They just keep saying, oh, that's not true. That never happened. Even if it did happen, they just say, no, it didn't. Anyway, sorry for the self-promotion. I just left Twitter and I've been thinking about this a lot lately and wanted to say it somewhere. I've now also seen proof these creator guidelines are real. And all I have to say about that is lol, LMAO. Jason posting about them. Listen to Khee Hoon Chan. Khee Hoon Chan. Do I hate white people? Yes. And if you're a friend, you'll understand why this is never personal. I hate white privilege so much. Their ability to scream reverse racism when faced with a tiny bit of criticism. The world revolves around them, even in Singapore, every day. Yeah, I'm sure this person doesn't have an angle against game science. Sure, yeah. Khee Hoon says, free Palestine. I'm so fucking pissed off. This has gone too far. Don't play Black Myth Wukong. Wow, it sure shit sounds like they have an agenda against this game and that they would mistranslate things on purpose. If you must, go and pirate it. If you enjoy it, I do not want to know it. Fuck game science and all the grifters who are doing this to one of my favorite people in the industry. That was from August 22nd, 2024. My video that I covered 1 year ago. Just a quick summary. I fast forwarded to the part that I want to talk about. This is Ignorant Valentine. Here we go. Khee Hoon and I are extremely confident in our work. This is Rebekah Valentine about the extremely mistranslated article that was a hardcore slander piece, a hit piece against game science and Black Myth Wukong, trying to get it to not win game of the year, by the way. And I guess you could say it worked. We checked and verified everything very, very diligently. So apparently Khee Hoon, the Korean that doesn't speak native Mandarin, who mistranslated this and got the worst translation possible out of it, even if it was a mistake. She's not saying maybe it was mistranslated, maybe we took the wrong perspective on this. There is another way to look at this. No. Instead of saying that, she's saying, nope, we did our due diligence, we did our work, and we are standing by it. So right then and there, she's completely lost any credibility. I'd go so far as to say this is my proudest work as a journalist so far. Holy crap. What the hell else have you done if this is your proudest work? Even if I wish it wasn't necessary. But I won't pretend that getting dozens of emails and tags on social daily accusing, here comes the victim mentality. Victim card played, accusing me of mistranslating or whatever doesn't occasionally worm its way into my brain. I feel like I'm being gaslit every time I log on. Here's the craziest part about all of it. Rebekah is gaslighting herself into thinking that she's the victim. Genuinely, this is the worst I've ever been harassed. People, I haven't seen any much harassment. I'm sure this harassment, it's the internet, you'll find it. But I've seen people trying to talk sense into her, just saying, hey, come clean. Admit that there's a different way to translate this and that what you said in your article may not apply actually, and it completely changes the entire perspective of what Black Myth Wukong's developer game science really is. But no, with an activist having an agenda and a target they need to hit, they will never look at any other perspective. That is the long and the short of what we're dealing with this article. This is the How Black Myth Wukong Developers' History of Sexism is Complicating Its Journey to the West. Indie developer Game Science's global fame is forcing it to confront its own sexism and that of the Chinese tech industry. And they go on to talking about the horrible sexism throughout Game Science's offices and how they treat women there and the posters on the wall. It's all sexual stuff and it's disgusting. And actually none of it was true. Like none of it. It was it could be interpreted as sexual, but she doesn't understand the nuance of the Chinese language. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do, but you know what I do is I research, which is something that she clearly didn't do. So when she stands by this, even in the face of the entire community saying, please at least double check it because it's wrong and here's proof of why you're wrong, instead of admitting that, she was too proud. She comes back saying, about a report from last year, Rebekah Valentine. Last year, we published a comprehensive report on IGN detailing a number of sexist and inappropriate remarks made by multiple developers at Black Myth Wukong, including those in leadership roles at Game Science. As of the publication of this preview, Game Science has yet to provide any response or statement addressing our report or their past remarks. Why would they? If I was a studio, I'd be like, fuck you. You just want to take whatever we say and twist it. Fuck out of here. I'm not going to talk to you. Why? That's literally all you're trying to. They are smarter than you. They know whatever they say is going to be twisted to make them even worse. So of course they're going to ignore you after you clearly, obviously mistranslated everything. What would talking to you even do? You clearly have an agenda. People have reached out to you and tried to clear the record and you won't do it. So of course they're not going to talk to you. Like Mitchell, I had the opportunity to see Black Myth Wukong at Summer Games Fest. Though my appointment was admittedly a little strange, I was told as part of my invitation that Game Science would have a statement related to the reports of sexism. I arrived at the appointment and saw the game as planned, but when I asked for the promised statement, I was told by a PR representative, Game Science is focused on the demo during the play days and will only answer questions related to gameplay. Once again, they don't want to give you anything. Why would they? All you would do is mistranslate their statement again or misinterpret it or say they're lying. Why would they trust you on anything? Mitchell's preview doesn't need my validation, but for what it's worth, I fully back everything he's written here, which by the way, she's replying to this guy saying that the game's actually pretty fun. Black Myth Wukong looks like it'll be a great game. It's gorgeous with snappy combat, fantastic monster design, and some really interesting boss fights. It is also true that several of the people who are making it have made disparaging remarks about women. Oh no. Is that true? Time to cancel them, guys. Holy crap, that's crazy. What did they say? And don't seem to be interested. Oh, you're not going to say what they said. Gotcha. And don't seem to be interested either in retracting their past statements or in supporting the numerous women who are being harassed in online conversations. So now she's making it about herself. Fascinating. Purely for expressing their discomfort with those statements. Both of these ideas, this is an activist. This is exhibit A as to why you need to get activists out of the game industry. Only bad things come from these people. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the process of the game being made. They have a target in mind that they intend to hit. And they will do whatever it takes, up to and including lying, being disingenuous, and refusing to retract false statements to make sure that target gets hit. So, yeah, Rebekah, when you claim that I made your life a hell for months on end, first off, there were at least 20 different YouTubers talking about this. It was a massive story. And every single one of them had the same angle based off of the research. You were wrong. But once again, I'm the problem. I'm the one because I said what I said, that I'm the serial harasser for calling your ass out. No, you got a story wrong. You refuse to admit it. And now you're tripling down on it. Instead of admitting it, I'm the problem. Oh, fuck out of here. I don't have time for people like this. But I will definitely remind people of how awful you are every chance I get. I'll leave that there. But yeah, the Black Myth thing was, I'm sure you guys remember, that was a big story and very frustrating because they had a clear agenda against the Chinese developer. They couldn't have that game win. They were looking for anything to knock it down. Anything. Oh, it's a sexist environment. First off, even if it was, what the fuck's that have to do with the game? Which is weird because Khee Hoon seems Chinese. I think, what was it? Korean? And Khee Hoon Chan did not speak that variation of, I don't know if it was Mandarin or what, but I don't know if it's a dude or a chick. That person tried their best to translate with what they knew. And you could argue tried to translate it as wrong as possible to make the story sizzle as much as they could to get people's attention. And they sure as shit got people's attention. So